Till now, we have seen things which is very straightforward. Okay. So before we actually get into compensation, we also need to understand where exactly do we use it? What is the use of this core compensation? First, this is for creation of the range of the salary. Like in the last chapter, we understood the recruitment process, right? So in the recruitment process, we understand that the requirement comes from the hiring manager along with the budget, correct?
Yes.
Now, that budget has to be configured here in this. And how do we do that? We will see in this chapter. Now, I also explained when we talk about the budget, right? So I'm sorry. So budget is not only your, the range of salary, but it has a lower limit and a higher limit. And along with that, what happens is that complete range of salary is divided into different segments. Now, why it is divided into different segments? Because it will, give you a segment in which you can assign the package easily to any person. Okay, so that's how it works. Okay, does it make sense? I mean, did you get what I'm trying to explain it to you?
So are you assigning a budget to a particular division and then you are assigning it to the members below it?
No, I'm not assigning anything to a member.
Uh-huh.
See, the budget is about a package, right?
Okay.
Yes.
That package has to be created on a particular job profile.
Okay.
So
Job
whatever
profile.
that budget is, it will be linked with the job profile. How? That we will see here, because we need the recruiter to see the budget, right? Without the budget, how will he or she know that, between what range I have to find the candidates, right?
Yes, exactly.
So that is where the compensation comes. That is one use of it. The other use is, there are multiple uses that I will cover up later on. And first, let's understand. So I hope you know what is the difference between compensation and benefits. Do you have any idea that what is benefit, what is compensation? Because a lot of people confuse between compensation and benefits.
Compensation is a normal pay package, which is a CTC, and over and above, like benefits like annual 3 monthly bonus or any kind of such package.
Like a
It's
health
not partially,
insurance.
that's partially correct.
Benefits not included in package.
Okay.
It is like company giving health insurance in addition.
That is true, but not that only company gives you a health insurance. There is a lot of benefits a lot of company provides, right?
Yes.
Yeah. It's not just the health insurance, but there is a lot of other benefits which I will talk. But understand what happens is when you say cost to the company, right? CTC. So CTC includes your benefits also. That's the reason people get confused. What the company do, they will increase your CTC and they will reduce the insurance amount from there, the premium amount and other things, and they will show that the CTC is this much. However, the take-home salary or in-hand salary reduces. Have you ever seen that?
Yes.
So a lot of company does that.
Yeah.
Now, there are organizations which keep the compensation and benefits separate. Now, Workday is designed in such a way that your compensation and your benefits will be separated. It will not allow you to basically use them together. You want to use it, you can. It is not that it is not possible, but it will still keep them separate. So whatever you see in this particular section, which is compensation, it is only going to be your salary which you are going to get, whether it is your fixed salary or your variable amount. Okay, so all those are part of your package. Okay, But when you talk about the total CTC will also include your benefits, because benefits also is something which company is paying, right? So it is again cost to the company only. Although they are paying it for your insurance, for other benefits, but again, it is going from company's kitty. So the CTC is different, but your package is not the CTC. So if you will try to explain somebody, they will, ask you these kind of questions in the interview. So you have to be very careful when you talk about CTC and the package, right? So these are very minute things which can cause confusion, and people will think that, okay, you don't know the difference between a CTC and a package. Okay. Okay. Now, what compensation consists of? Compensation consists of your base salary. Base salary is basically your fixed part, and it will contain your bonus, or you can say the variable pay. If a company does not give you variable pay, it will not have that component. But generally, it is not possible. You will get a variable pay. It could be, the amount could be anything. But yes, you will get it for sure. Because that actually gives some kind of motivation to the employees. A lot of people want to move out, and they say that, okay, I'm just 2 to 3 months away from my bonus. Let me stay and then take that bonus, and then let's think about moving out. So what that happens is company is able to retain you for at least 3 months, right? So these are all retention tactics as well. That also you have to think while you configure all these things. All right. Now, when I say base pay, a lot of people get confused with basic salary. Basic salary and base pay are two different things, guys. Okay.
Okay.
So when you see your salary slips, there are different components which you will see, right? What are the different components that come in there?
Basic salary,
Basic.
HRA.
Mm-hmm. So this is a component that you're looking in India, but if you go to different countries, that will not be the same. So that will differ. Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
So this part that they break the salary into different components, it is not a HR job. HR will not do it. So any HCM consultant will not do it. It will be done by the finance team.
Okay.
Okay. So whenever we will talk about compensation, we will talk about the base pay, and the base pay is just your fixed package. The fixed salary that you're talking is a base pay. Now that base pay is divided into basic salary, HRA, conveyance allowance, and other parts. We don't know. To be honest, none of the HCM consultant even should talk about it, because it is not part of their KRA. It should go to the finance team, and all this breakup will come from the finance team. Okay. So these things you have to keep in mind when you actually go in an interview, because people will ask these type of questions and you will get confused. Okay. Does that make sense? I hope I'm clear.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, coming on to our chapter, what are we going to cover? So there are 4 very important topics that we have in compensation. 1, it is the eligibility criteria. Now this eligibility criteria in terms of Workday, it is basically called as compensation eligibility rule. Okay. So when we configure this in the system, in the Workday system, we will call it as compensation eligibility rule. But in the discussion terminology, we can also call it as eligibility criteria. Now, this eligibility criteria is not at all related to your job profile. Because when you hire somebody, you talk about eligibility criteria, right? So eligibility criteria, what are the skills, what are the, technical knowledge you have, all those things are part of your eligibility, right? Now we have to exclude that. This will only talk about your compensation eligibility rule. So how a compensation eligibility rule can be defined? Guys?
Okay. On the grade of the employee?
Yeah, but on the grade of the employee, that is fine. But what would you define? You will actually define the range of salary here. Okay. So this eligibility criteria only talks about for which job profile the candidate has applied, and
Okay.
is that candidate falling in that range of salary. That is one very specific eligibility criteria that comes in this section.
Okay.
Now there could be multiple or other eligibility criteria also. Now what could be that other eligibility criteria that is there? Somebody puts notice period as eligibility criteria, that okay, my company wants somebody to join in a span of 1 month, right? And the other person who's, the recruiter is talking, they say, no, my notice period is 3 months. Then they still do not fall in that eligibility criteria, but that eligibility criteria is not related to compensation, guys. Okay, don't get confused. Some of them also talk about the location. Suppose you are applying for a job in, you are in San Jose and you have applied for a job, the location is not mentioned. And they say that, okay, you may have to travel to, Tampa, Florida. I'm just giving an example, right? And you say, no, I am in San Jose. I really do not want to go to Tampa in Florida. Then again, you are rejected. That is again an eligibility criteria, but not related to compensation. So why I'm telling you all these things, so that when you talk to somebody, you can differentiate that what comes in and what is not coming in these criteria.
Also
okay.
Experience, right? Experience.
Yeah, experience. Yeah, that will be a part of your job profile. But all these things will not be part of your job profile. They will ask you these questions.
Okay.
Right. I mean, you would never see in a job profile that it has been mentioned that the notice period should be less than a month, or it should be a month, right? They will only give you the skills and the things which is required. They will not even mention the package. I mean, it's very rare that you see the package with the job profile.
Okay.
There are companies who are very transparent. They do mention it. But 90% to 95% of the company will not. Okay. Okay, coming on to this part, eligibility criteria. So this eligibility criteria is only specific to your amount of salary that defines your, the take home. Okay. So when you talk about this eligibility criteria, it says, this helps us to check the job profile for which the candidate is getting hired. We go ahead and check the range of the salary of the candidate. Based on the eligibility criteria, we can actually assign a compensation range. Right? If my budget is X and if the person is asking me why, I cannot go ahead and do that, right? I mean, they have to agree to X. Then only they are eligible. So that is the major thing that I wanted to specify. And this is very, very important concept. And then when we create the eligibility criteria, we put the condition, and then we have to create the compensation grade or grade profile, because we will have to link the eligibility criteria with the range of salary. And this range of salary will be defined in compensation grade or compensation grade profile. Now, both of them are, different. How it is different, that we will see. So if you do not link this eligibility criteria with this, then my eligibility criteria is not yet fulfilled. So both of them have to be linked together. It's a direct relationship. Okay. Then comes the next part, which is your allowance plan. Now, in this allowance plan, there are two parts. There is a reimbursable allowance and there is a non-reimbursable allowance. I hope you understand the meaning of reimbursable and non-reimbursable.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anybody who does not know what is reimbursable, what is non-reimbursable? That's fine. It's not necessary that everyone would know it, but yeah, if you are not aware, let me know. Okay, so I did not get any no's, so I will consider that you know it, and I'll move ahead in that part now. So when you talk about allowance plan, something as a reimbursable part, again, it is not part of HCM. Again, that causes confusion. Why? Because when you put something for reimbursement, right, that reimbursement item, which you are taking a reimbursement, will be defined by the finance team that, okay, on these things you can get a reimbursement.
Okay.
Okay. So let's say, people were working from home, and still people are working from home, that not everybody is going to office these days. And let's say, I wanted an extra screen because my laptop is just like 12 inches to 14 inches, and it is very difficult for me to work on that. So I need an extended screen. And if I was in office, it would be on my desk. I don't need to worry about it. And there is a lockdown, you cannot go to office. So the company would say, okay, you go ahead and buy that, you get the bill, and we will reimburse the amount to you, right? So this item, that is a computer peripheral, right? This has to be approved by the finance team, and that after that approval, they will put that item in the Workday list so that people can actually submit the expense report. Okay, does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is a kind of a reimbursable allowance. Now, there are two parts to that also. One is like your amount-based plan, and then there is one called unit-based plan. So we understood the first part, which is amount-based, that you have bought something and you have a fixed amount and you are sending it and you are getting the approval, and that's fine. You are able to do it. But the next part is unit-based. So, in this section, you can take an example of fuel reimbursement. When you go ahead and get the fuel reimbursed, the organizations pay you for your gas bill. Gas basically means your fuel, which you are using in your transportation. So let's say, your home to the office is, about 20 kilometers. And then 20 plus 20, that is 40 kilometers per day you are traveling, right? And let's say that we are, getting, you can say per kilometer, they will give you some reimbursement that, okay, so on that particular part, let's say that you are going to get some amount of money. If you talk in USD, let's say they'll give you like $5 per kilometer. I'm just giving you an example that, don't go by the number. And let's say in India, you're getting like 15 to $20, 20 rupees per kilometer, right? So if you're traveling 40 kilometers per day and like you're coming 20 days to office, so 40 into 20, 800 kilometers. And then you multiply that by $5 in US and 20 rupees in India. So how much is that? So it comes to like 40,000 in India, 800 into 20. No, it comes more than that, I think. Yeah. So whatever the amount is, you are going to get that as a reimbursement. You have to submit a monthly reimbursement on that. Okay. So this is a unit-based plan that you are getting. We will talk on that also. And then there are certain allowances plan which is non-reimbursable. Now this is the place where we actually are most active. So all your bonus plans, variable amount, joining bonus, one-time payments are done through this non-reimbursable allowances, which is again a part of your package also. Okay. So when I say non-reimbursable allowance, there are three sections or three parts in that: amount-based plan, percentage-based plan, and then unit-based plan also. Amount-based plan. When you talk about amount-based, let's say they have given me a package of 12 lakhs or 120,000 in that case. So they will say that fixed is your 10 and extra variable amount you're getting is 2. Okay. And they will say that it is based on your performance. So if you have a good rating, at least exceeding expectations or meeting expectations, you will get the complete amount. If it is below, then there could be some deductions that they will tell you at that point of time. But at the time of joining, they will tell you, no, you will get it 100%. Okay. So that is how they actually work. And then the next part is your percentage-based plan. So in this case, what they will tell you that whatever is your fixed salary or fixed package, let's say I'm going to give you like 10%, 15% as a bonus. So whatever your package is, based on that, you will get some amount as your bonus. Okay. Now that bonus is something which has to be calculated. We cannot give a definite number because we have enabled a percentage-based plan in that. Then the next part is your unit-based plan. Now, when you say unit-based plan, here also you have to see what kind of unit I have to define. You have to specify the unit. Without the unit, it is not possible. Maybe, I work in a support project and I am getting tickets assigned to me. Okay. And let's say I'm supposed to close 2 tickets per day. That is my target. And let's say there are 5 people in my team, but 2 people went on leave and there are only 3 people. So there is an extra load which is going to come. And the team management wants to compensate these people. They say that, okay, we have a backlog buster plan, like an incentive plan. Okay. And this incentive plan is in such a way that they will tell you that, okay, in a month's time, you're supposed to close 40 tickets. If you're closing 2 tickets per day, 20 days, 40 tickets. But I want to say that please close extra ticket, and then whatever you close on top of 40, I'll give you, $1,000 extra. So if I'm closing 1 ticket extra on top of that, they're giving me 1,000 rupees. So let's say I'm closing 3 tickets per day. So that goes up to 60. So 40 is my target, 20 I have closed more. So now 20 into 1,000. So 20,000 is what I'm going to earn extra, right? So this is a kind of incentive plan which comes per ticket. That is cases, unit will be cases, because cases are also like tickets only. So this is a kind of plan which we have, and these things are configured by us. We will be doing it. And we have to also understand what allowance plan would be part of your appraisals and what allowance plan will not be part of your appraisals. So the first 2 plan, which is amount based and amount bonus plan and the percentage based bonus plan, these 2 will be part of your appraisals, but you will be using only one. You cannot have amount based and percentage based together. Either you will use amount based or percentage based, but whatever you are going to use, it will be part of your appraisals. So there is an option that you want to exclude this from appraisal. You have to check that box. So like you are giving a joining bonus. Now joining bonus is a part of your package for that 1 year. It will not be part of your appraisal. So you will have to exclude that allowance from the package or from the merit. Okay. So that is what is the thing that I wanted to explain you. And then finally, what we are going to do is we are going to go into the compensation package here. Okay. So compensation package consists of 2 parts, guys. Either we are going to choose compensation grade, which is your fixed salary, or we are going to choose the compensation grade profile. That is also fixed salary, but in which scenarios we use compensation grade, which scenarios we use grade profile, that we will see when we will configure it. And then we will choose the allowance plan. Now, in the package, you will have the variable amount. It could be your one-time payment. It could be your bonus, which is, your annual bonus, or, anything. But unit-based plan would not be here because it is just like an incentive, which I have said, that is not part of your package. It is something that will come is, it's an operational requirement. So it is not be, it cannot be a part of your package. So that's how it works. That's how it actually helps you to complete this particular topics and the chapter. So this is the complete core compensation. And when we talk about advanced compensation, so advanced compensation is on top of it. Advanced compensation is something which we will be building on this things. We will see that. Then let's go to the configuration. Okay, let me connect to the tenants and we will try to. Okay, guys. So now we are going into the configuration. So I said that we will start with the eligibility rule. Now, what is the eligibility rule? The task: create compensation eligibility rule. This is my task. And here we are just going to put the condition. We are not going to put anything else. So let's try to see. So what was the job profile that we created? Do you remember?
Account executive, cloud commerce.
Okay, WLE7 _ account executive. So why I'm putting it? Because I will know that this eligibility rule will be for account executive. Okay. Now there are two options. If you see here, it says category. And here you will see generally notice period. So we generally, don't use notice period as eligibility for, for any compensation. But some companies prefer it. Some companies says that, okay, I want to. Then in those cases, you can. But the fact is, it is not necessary that you use it, to be very honest. Okay. And then there is an option which says copy condition from rule, which means, let's say before you would have hired some account executives and you want to go ahead and put the same condition here. Okay. So if you have put the same condition from rule, then what would happen? You can copy that. So maybe I have created some account executive before. I may have, I'm sure about it. Yeah, see, horizontal account executive, WLM7, right, 8. So I can use any one of them, but I really don't want to use any condition rule which is already existing. But this is an option that you really want to use it, you can go ahead and do it. Okay. But if I have to start a new rule, I want to, have a brand new rule for me for this particular eligibility, I will go ahead and use this condition place where I will go ahead and put the field. So I'm going to put the condition on job profile. And this job profile will be from compensation. I'm not going to use a simple job profile. Why? Because I want to specify that whoever has applied for this job profile. Now, which job profile we will see. I'll say in the selection list. Now see, these are all operators. See, exact match with the selection list, not exact match, subset, not subset, superset, right? So these are all logical operators that is given to you by Workday. Now, what I'll say, any in the selection list. So anybody, whoever has applied for this job profile, because I'm going to create such an eligibility rule, which is for this job profile, right? So whoever, anybody, any in the selection list should match or should fall in that range of salary. And that range of salary, I will define somewhere else. And I will link this eligibility rule with that salary. But this is how what is going to happen here? This is how my condition is created. And I have just put one condition. If you want to add more, you can. There is no problem. How? You can just keep on adding that plus sign. And you can add more conditions also. Now, this is my main condition, that the job profile, which is coming from the compensation business object, should have this information. Okay. Now this is just the half part done.
Yeah,
Half part is
Devashi,
still left.
can you show this? What is comparison value in this? What is stored in this WLE account executive commerce cloud?
This
What
is
are you
the
comparing
job
here?
profile, right? We created this job profile.
Correct, but what exactly are you comparing here?
I am comparing the people, those who have applied for this job profile.
Yes, that is any in the list, selection list, is the list of people who have applied, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So
Value
that list
specific
will come. That list will come when someone will apply for this job, right?
for this job, account
Yes.
executive.
Yes. So when you have created a job profile and you have linked it with the position and you want people to apply, what will you do? You will expose that on the site, which I have shown you that there is a career site.
Mm-hmm.
So from there, people will start applying.
So this is your requisition or job profile?
This is my job profile,
Okay.
which will be connected with the requisition, which will be exposed on the site.
Okay. Okay. So this
Right?
is a job profile, not a requisition.
No, this is just a job profile. So job profile is linked with the requisition, right?
Correct, correct.
So that is
So
how
I'm not
exactly it
getting
is.
exactly what value are you comparing?
Yeah, this is the job profile. I don't have any other value. That's
Achha,
what I'm
there's
trying to tell
just
you.
random people applying, right, to their account
Yeah.
executive.
So
Okay.
that is the reason I said any in that list, any.
Okay. Mhm.
Okay. Now, the next part is, see, this is my account executive commerce cloud job profile, right? This is the section which I'm trying to build right now. See, I have got this eligibility
Connection.
rule.
Okay.
Yeah. How did it come? Because of this, I've added this condition here.
So what is this job profile compensation?
Compensation is a business object where you have the job profile field also. It is connected with this job profile business object. Okay. So compensation means somebody who will apply, there will be certain questions, right? And if there is a question which is related with the compensation, what is your current salary and what is your expected salary? So the recruiter will get those details without talking to that candidate, right?
Okay.
So it will tell whether this person is falling in this
Rule.
category or
Okay.
whether they are not falling in this category. Yes, no, did you understand what I'm trying to say here?
No, actually, this job profile, this source, external field, and condition. I'm not getting
Source,
what is.
external field or condition rule, that on which field you are trying to put the condition rule. That is what it is
Correct.
trying to say.
Yes.
So I have selected a field which is job profile. And in that job profile, I have specifically chosen compensation.
Okay.
Okay.
Is your field. Nothing.
Yes.
Yeah. This
Yeah.
is only, there is nothing inside it, right? It's just a business object.
Yeah, that's just a field, not even a business object. Compensation is the business object. Inside that business object, I have a field job profile.
Okay.
Okay. And from there, I am picking that anybody who has applied for this job profile, okay,
Okay.
they are all in my selection list. They are all falling in this category.
Category.
Okay. Now
So
it will be
nothing compensation word, they are not comparing a word compensation in this job profile for that.
no, they're not comparing it here. But let's say someone applies for this job profile and in the questionnaire you have asked, what is your current CTC and what is your expected CTC?
Okay.
Or what is your current package and what you are expecting?
Okay.
Right? So those values will be recorded in the application. When they enter the details, the application will have that value, right? And that application will be the job profile where the compensation details will be there, and that will be stored in this particular field.
Okay. 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 Got it. So now I will just summarize what you have said. What I understood is this comparison value, what you have put is a job profile. In that job profile, you have the field compensation, right? Which is getting compared with your external source field job profile, which is your condition to come for comparison, right?
Okay.
Right. And now if an external person is applying for the job, the system will filter out if you have mentioned any range of compensation in it, like 5 lakhs to 7 lakhs, whatever range you have mentioned, it will filter out the candidates and it will give you the selection list. Is it that way?
Yes, that's what I'm trying to tell you.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, now it is clear, right?
Yeah.
Okay. This is my half work yet. Okay, this is still not the complete one. Now what I'll do, I will go ahead and start building the next part. And that next part is create compensation grade. Okay, so this is my task. So you see this option, it says effective date. Now that depends on when you want to make the package active, not the package, but the grade. So I'll just choose the date of today. And then you see this option which says pay range segments, right? So what did I say? That when you define the range of salary, so from 4 to 12, and it says pay range segments, and I've chosen 4, for example. So that 4 to 12 will be broken into 4 equal parts, so that you can choose the segment in which this employee is lying. So someone's salary is 3.5 and they say that, okay, I need a 30% hike. So that is close to 4.1 or 2, right? So that is in the minimum bracket. A recruiter will be very happy to get such person because they are in the lowest bracket, right? And they are fulfilling all the criteria. Okay, so here you can break this into 3 parts only. What is that? I'll tell you. You can have only 3 numbers. Let's say I want to break it in number 6 segments. It is not possible. I can only break that range into 3 segments, which is either 3 or 4 or 5. I cannot go beyond that. So that range of salary can be broken down only in 3 segments, 4 segments, or 5 segments. How it will be, I'll show it to you in some time. Okay. Now you see the grade name. I'll keep the name same just to make sure that, you know, I am able to remember everything properly. Okay, I'll just scroll it down. Now you see it says grade description. You want to put any description, you can. Then you have these options. It says base pay element. So my base pay is my fixed part. So whatever I'm going to define right now will be my base pay. So I'll just keep that as base pay. It is as per best practice. Okay, we always have to use base pay, but some companies may prefer it, may not prefer it. They may have their own base pay element, which they will get configured when they start the product. You know, you can say handover from Workday. So they will say to them that, okay, please give me these all values in the base pay. Then your eligibility rule. Now it is not mandatory. If you want to create a grade, but you don't want to link it with anything, any eligibility rule, that is still fine. But we are creating a specific eligibility rule, right? We created a specific eligibility rule for this. So we should link it. That is my eligibility rule, right? This is my eligibility rule that I have created. Now I am linking this eligibility rule now with this grade. Currency, let's say I'm putting it in INR. Frequency, so your fixed package will definitely be annual, right? It will be divided as per the payroll cycle, but that will be as per this. Now you see here, this is going to be my segments. 1, 2, 3, 4. If I put 3, it will be 1, 2, 3. If I put 5, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So the minimum I said is 400,000. And the maximum I said, which is my segment top value, 412. Okay. Now I'll have to calculate the segments. When I click on it, you will see that these values are equally divided into 4 segments. And as I stated, someone is already is having a package of 3.5 and they say that I need 30%, right? So 30% of it, how much it is? If you calculate, right, It's around 4.5, right? So if it is 4.5, what they will do is they will give a minimum package of 4 and they will add a amount based bonus plan of 50,000, and they will create a package and they will send it. The candidate is also happy, the recruiter is also happy, and the most happiest is the hiring manager, right?
Yeah.
So this is how exactly it works, guys, and we have to be very careful while we go ahead and make these changes in the settings. Now see, for that candidate, who has asked 30% of hike, they are satisfied that they got 30%, and let's say after 1 year, if they want to leave, the hiring manager has the liberty that they can give any salary in this segment, right? So if you give like from 4.5, you give 8, just imagine how much hike that is going to be. Why will somebody leave the organization? They would not, right?
Yeah.
So this is also a kind of,
Retention.
you know, a thing which is going to help, right?
Yeah, and what is that under minimum pay 5,572 something?
Oh,
What
this
is
is,
that?
the tenant is configured in the USD, so it
Uh-huh.
gets converted.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
So that is how exactly it has been put up here.
okay. So this is minimum 4 lakhs and maximum 12 lakhs you mentioned here, right? So
Yes,
this is the budget to that particular position which we
exactly. This
created.
is the budget that you have given to that particular position.
Okay.
This is how exactly it will be.
Okay.
And when I click on done,
What is that midpoint after that maximum?
okay, I will show it to you. No, don't worry. I'll go to the compensation, and then in the rule usage, I will actually get it let me refresh it. I should get the compensation grade that I have created. Midpoint is just a value.
Okay.
When you divide that into segments, it is giving you the midpoint. From 4 to 12,
Yeah.
8 is
Okay.
the midpoint of it.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
Now I'm going into the rule usage. See, my compensation rule has been created. When I go into this, I'm getting the grade. So when I click on the grade, I will see the package. Not the package, I'm sorry. That is a wrong word. I will see
The range.
the
Basic.
range of the salary.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now when you actually go ahead and, move into this, which is your account executive compensation grade, right? You just created one and you want to use it in your job profile, you can link it there. That is fine. The recruiter will have the visibility to it. But it is not necessary that only a compensation grade can be linked. It could be a possibility that a compensation grade profile can also be linked. Now, there is a very slight difference between a grade and a grade profile. But majority of the organization these days are not sticking to grade. They are actually moving into a grade profile. And there is a specific reason for that. Okay, I will try to explain you in a different way. Okay, let's see. I am a manager. Okay, I am working in the Workday team and my grade is grade 7. Okay, there is a same grade in a finance department also, grade 7, and there is a manager who is in finance department. And there is another manager who is in HR department, and all the managers in the organizations are on grade 7 only. But there is a difference of salary between mine, the HR manager and the finance manager and the manager in the admin department. I am all in the same grade. The grade range is same, but my salary is like say 10 lakhs more than a HR manager, then maybe 6 lakhs more than finance manager and maybe 12 lakhs more than an admin manager. Why is there a difference of salary in this?
Based on their roles.
No, role is same. I'm a manager. They are also a manager. Role is same.
Based on a job profile.
Basically, it is based on your skills.
Skills, correct.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So based on your skills, compensation grade profiles are also created. Although I am a manager, I am on the same level, they are also on the same level. There is no change in the grade. Whatever facilities I will be getting as a manager, they are also getting the same. But when it comes to salary, my salary is way more than their salary. Okay, so within that grade, I can actually go ahead and use the compensation grade profile. So the task is same, create compensation grade. And you see this option, use compensation grade profile, right? So now I will have the same grade. I will just create a grade like I say manager. Okay, let me show it to you. Manager. Okay, I'll not create in this way, otherwise I'll get confused. WLE7 underscore manager. Okay. And these things will remain same. I am not going to make any changes here. So base pay element is base pay. Okay, and then you have eligibility rule. Now for this, I have not created any eligibility rule, so I'll not use it right now. It is not mandatory also, right? It is not mandatory here.
Yeah.
Then currency, I'll say INR. Frequency, I'll say maybe annual. Okay, and then you see, I have the compensation pay range. I am not using this anymore. I will go into the grade profile. So here, my eligibility rule becomes mandatory. Within this grade, what is the profile for which you are actually setting up the salary? You have to specify. In the grade profile name, I can mention manager Workday. Okay. Then the base pay element will always be base pay. That will not change, but the eligibility rule has to be mentioned. Because that eligibility rule will stick to the job profile of the manager of Workday. It will not stick to the job profile of any other manager. And within this, I can keep on adding as many manager profile if I want. Okay. So let's say I'm creating one right now. And if I want to create another one, I can just click on this plus and I can keep on adding manager HR, manager, finance or manager something. So on this grade, whatever job profiles you have, all of them can be created same place, but will have different salary. Their segments will be different. Their pay ranges will be different. So this is the major difference between a compensation grade and a compensation grade profile. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So here, if you're creating more than one manager, then we'll have to create eligibility rule for each.
Yes. Because every time you are creating a new job profile, you have to create an eligibility rule. And that eligibility rule, you have to put it here. Without that, you cannot create a compensation grade. Because you saw that I have to create eligibility rule, and only I can actually create a profile. Otherwise, I will not. But in the compensation grade, it is not mandatory. You see that?
Yeah.
So that is the difference. And that is how these days compensation grade is not being used. They don't use it also. They will actually use the compensation grade profile. Because that's the most feasible way of assigning salary to anybody.
And you can inactive any of them independently, is it?
I'm sorry, I did not get that.
Inactive also, you can make it inactive independently.
Yeah. Right. If you don't have that profile existing, you can inactivate it from here. Are you now?
So
Did you get the? Yeah, sorry, tell me.
Base pay remains base pay again here, right?
Yeah, base pay because what we are creating right now is my fixed part of my salary. So that will always remain base pay.
And eligibility rule?
Eligibility
Right, got
rule will change. Eligibility rule will change as per my job profile.
okay, got it.
Because on the basis of job profile, I'm creating compensation grade profiles.
Yes.
So my eligibility rule is bound to change.
Yeah, there it will be different for marketing, it will be different for accounts, it will be
Yes.
different for HR.
Okay. So this is what I wanted to explain. Okay. So I don't have anything more to add. Thank you so much for joining.